Chapter 1021. With that in mind, Orissa decided to tease her by asking, "Why don't you call him Daddy, if you know that he loves you?" Jess's eyes darted around as she shifted her gaze between Orissa and her brothers. "I didn't dare call him Daddy, because my brothers aren't doing it either. They'll hit me if I call him Daddy." All five of the boys stared speechlessly at Jessie in response. "All right, suit yourselves. Now, hurry up and finish your food," Orissa said with a chuckle. "Honestly, it's just a form of address. Some people even address their dads by their first names as though they are friends. Oh well, I guess Benjamin will have to work harder if he wants them to call him Daddy." Mary glanced at the kids as she said, "Your mommy and daddy are together now, so you kids should start addressing him properly." "Don't worry, great-grandaunt. We'll call him Daddy when his performance improves," Zachary said with an adorable expression. The corner of Orissa's lips twitched when she heard that. "You kids and your shenanigans. How could you say that, Mommy? We're just helping you test him," Zachary protested. "All right, eat your food." Darius was still unconscious when Benjamin arrived at his ward. "Are you done with all the preparations at home?" Benjamin asked when William came over shortly after. "Yes, Mr. Graham," William replied and proceeded to brief Benjamin on the current situation at the old manor. He then glanced worriedly at Darius and asked, "Has old Mr. Graham not woken up yet?" "Nope." Benjamin couldn't help but wonder why Darius was still unconscious a few hours after the surgery. He then summoned Sean and asked, "Why is my father still unconscious? Come take a look at him." Sean nodded in response. "Got it." After giving Darius another examination, he said, "There's nothing wrong with old Mr. Graham. His vitals all appear to be normal." Benjamin nodded and stepped out of the ward. He then retrieved a cigarette from his pocket and kept it in his mouth without lighting it. "You can smoke in my office if you'd like," Sean suggested when he saw the frustrated look on his friend's face. Benjamin shot him a glance. "No, I'm good. Are you sure my father is all right?" Sean gave Benjamin a reassuring pat on the shoulder. "Yes, he is. Even a strong, young man would take a few hours to regain consciousness after surgery. Given your father's age, it would only make sense to take much longer than that, so don't worry about it." Upon noticing Benjamin glaring at his hand, Sean recalled that he was a clean freak and quickly pulled it back. Anyway, I'll be going out for lunch now." He stammered nervously and waited for Benjamin to nod in response before leaving. Because Kingsley was really sleepy, he simply rolled over and continued sleeping when Sean woke him up. Sean waited for a bit to see if he would get up, but that didn't happen. Eventually, Sean had no choice but to head over to the cafeteria to have lunch all by himself. Benjamin then gave Ethan a call to ask about the situation at the police station. "Nick has yet to confess, Mr. Graham. However, we have solid evidence against him, so he's not getting out on bail." Benjamin let out a cold snort. "HMPH. Still stubborn even though we have solid evidence against him, huh? Continue to keep a close eye on him," Benjamin ordered and put his phone away, only to see Orissa standing nearby when he turned around. She waited until he waved at her before making her way toward him. Sensing that he was in a bad mood, she eyed him from head to toe as she asked, "More trouble?" "No, not really. Nick stubbornly refuses to confess," Benjamin replied while pulling her into his embrace. Orissa looked up at him. Was it really him who did it? The look in Benjamin's eyes turned gloomy as he nodded in response. Orissa clenched her fists and exclaimed angrily, "I'll support your decision no matter what you do." Benjamin's eyes gleamed as he lowered his gaze to her. "And here I thought you'd object to this and ask me to have mercy on him. Why would I?" Back then, Orissa probably would have done exactly that. But the despair she experienced from her family had taught her a valuable lesson. She learned that some people would take a mile if you gave them an inch. As such, one would have to stand firm when dealing with those people. Chapter 1022. Do you think I'm heartless? Benjamin leaned down to look at her. His breath brushed past her face, sending a warm and tingling sensation throughout her body as his familiar scent enveloped her. Orissa gulped. No, they should never be compassionate toward their enemies. Orissa had no more sympathy for Nick after learning that he had intended not only to harm Benjamin but also their entire family, including her children. Benjamin's eyes darkened, and he bent down to peck her on the forehead. "Grandpa is awake. He's awake." Suddenly, they could hear their children's cheers and exclamations coming from the ward. Their eyes lit up, and they rushed into the ward. Darius was awake, with the 6 children standing around his bed. "Grandpa." Orissa quickly pulled the children to one side and reminded them, "He just woke up, so you guys have to quieten down." She looked at Darius joyfully as Benjamin pressed the button to call for assistance. He walked up to Darius, asking, "Dad, how are you feeling?" Darius' voice was hoarse. Orissa rushed to pour a glass of water and handed it to Benjamin. Benjamin accepted it and gave it to Darius. "Take a sip." After Darius drank a bit of water, the doctors came in. Benjamin quickly stepped aside for the doctors. A dozen doctors started giving Darius a thorough checkup as Benjamin, Orissa, Edwin, William, and the 6 children waited at the side. Mary also came rushing in upon hearing Darius was awake. "Old Mr. Graham is awake." "Yes, he just woke up," Orissa told Mary gleefully. Mary was elated to hear that. She looked in the direction of the bed but couldn't see Darius as the doctors had him surrounded. After a few minutes, the doctors told Benjamin, old Mr. Graham is fine now. He just needs more rest." "Okay." Benjamin nodded. "Thank you, everyone." Orissa smiled. "There's no need to thank us at all. You're being too polite." After the doctors mentioned a few more precautions, they left the ward. "Grandpa, you're finally awake." "Grandpa, we were so worried about you." "Grandpa, are you hungry? We brought delicious food for you." "Grandpa." Darius felt blessed as the 6 children surrounded him. A smile spread across his face as he comforted them. "I'm fine. Don't worry." The children started at him unblinkingly. Orissa and Benjamin were also watching Darius. Orissa poured another glass of water and was about to feed Darius when William took it from her. "Mrs. Graham, let me do it." Passing the glass to him, she said to Darius, "Drink some water first before eating anything, Dad." "Okay." Darius noticed that while Benjamin's family was present, there was no one from Brian's and Nick's families. He couldn't help but feel slightly disappointed. "They are all cold-hearted people. None of them really care about me." "Old Mr. Graham, drink it slowly." Sean had come back after eating. Upon realizing that Darius was awake, he hurried over to the ward. "Old Mr. Graham, you're awake." Darius glanced at him and smiled. "Yes, I'm awake. I must have given you all a scare." "Ha ha, it's great that you're awake. Benjamin was so worried when you were unconscious." Sean could feel Benjamin's glare. He glanced at Benjamin and sheepishly smiled. "Old Mr. Graham, Benjamin might have fired me if you remained unconscious any longer." Darius looked at Benjamin and felt warmth in his heart. "You should go and get some rest. There's no need to stay by my side anymore." "I'll head back to the company in a while," Benjamin replied. Orissa turned to question Benjamin, "Are you not going to rest?" "He's going to the company right after Dad woke up." Benjamin stared at her fixedly. "I'm not tired." Chapter 1023. Orissa pursed her lips. "Even if you're not tired, you should get some rest. Do you think you're made of metal?" PFF'd. Sean couldn't hold back his laughter. Darius, Mary, the kids, and the 2 butlers were also grinning widely. "There's nowhere to rest here. I'll finish my work at the company before returning home to rest in the evening," Benjamin explained to Orissa. There was no hint of anger in his voice. "Did you forget what day it is today?" Orissa scrutinized the workaholic man. "Yes, Daddy. Have you forgotten what day it is today?" Gavin also chimed in. Benjamin glanced at Gavin. "Saturday." Everyone was left speechless. "At least you remember that it's Saturday." Orissa narrowed her eyes. "You should rest on a Saturday. Why are you working overtime?" Benjamin laughed. "Then, I'll drop by the company for a short while before going back home to rest." "Is that fine?" Orissa pursed her lips and didn't say anything. "Does it make him sick when he doesn't go to the company for one day?" "Mr. Graham, did you forget what you promised us?" Zachary reminded Benjamin. Benjamin made eye contact with Zachary. Naturally, he hadn't forgotten his promise. I remember. If you remember it, why don't you show it through your actions? Zachary pouted. Oliver also chimed in. Don't wait till night. There won't be time at night. Benjamin nodded. It seemed that he shouldn't go to the office. All right, I won't go back to the office. Orissa looked at Benjamin and then at the children. Since when did they have secrets? Everyone kept Darius company for a short while before letting him eat. Orissa had prepared mushroom soup for him. It was scrumptious. Old Mr. Graham, Mrs. Graham prepared this for you herself. Have some of it, Edwin told Darius giddily. Darius, eyes lit up in delight. Isa, you made this. Orissa smiled and explained to Darius, yes. Does it suit your tastes? Since you just had surgery, you shouldn't eat anything heavy, so I tried to make the dish simpler. Darius nodded delightedly as he praised her. It's delicious and better than what they make. He was referring to Edwin and William. Orissa smiled. The food that Edwin and William make is delicious too. It's just that you don't usually eat what I make. Once you eat more of what I cook, you will get sick of it. Of course not. I'll never get sick of your food even if I eat it every day. Darius was in a good mood and drank 2 bowls of soup quickly. Everyone laughed at Darius' gluttonous behavior. At that moment, there was a commotion outside the room. Everyone exchanged glances, and Sean walked toward the door. I'll go and take a look. It was Brian and his wife trying to visit Darius. However, the bodyguards had stopped them outside. What are you guys doing? Let us visit Dad. Move. Susanna scolded them viciously. I'm sorry. The doctor says that old Mr. Graham needs his rest. The bodyguards didn't move a single inch. Brian scoffed coldly. We are here to visit Dad. Can't a son visit his own father? I'm sorry. Mr. Graham said not to let anyone in. The bodyguards refused to allow them entry. Brian's expression darkened. How dare Benjamin not let us meet my father? Just then, Sean walked out of the ward, greeting them with a smile. So, it's you guys. Sean and Benjamin grew up together, so he naturally knew about the grudges in the Graham family. Brian and his wife could see that Benjamin's family was inside the ward through the crack of the door. Their expressions darkened. Ask them to back off. We are going in to visit Dad. Brian ordered Sean. He moved to barge into the ward with Susanna, but Sean blocked them. Old Mr. Graham needs his rest. You guys should leave. Chapter 1024. You. Brian bellowed, his face livid with rage as veins popped out on his neck. All of a sudden, Darius' voice rang out. Let him in. With that, Brian glared at Sean and pulled Susanna into the room. As soon as he saw Benjamin, he let out a snort of disgust and turned to Darius. Dad, do you see what Benjamin's doing? He's making it difficult for us to visit you. I can't believe he even got his bodyguard to get in our way. Must he treat us like outsiders? Darius stared at the enraged Brian, his gaze stern and harsh. Benjamin means well. All he wants is for me to get a good rest. You guys, on the other hand, haven't stopped shouting ever since you got here. That's only because he stopped us from coming in. Brian fumed. So, what are you two doing here? Darius asked warily. Before Brian could reply, Susanna tugged at his arm and beat him to it. We've come to see you, Dad. Are you feeling better? She asked with concern. Yes, I'm much better. Now that you've seen me, you can take your leave. Don't bother coming back again. Darius snapped, clearly eager to chase his visitors home. Meanwhile, Orissa stood at the side with the children and remained silent. Dad, we've only just arrived, yet you're already chasing us away. Brian protested as he glowered at the group. What about Benjamin and his family? They've been here for quite some time, haven't they? That's because you only know how to annoy me while they can cheer me up. Is that so hard to comprehend? Besides, you wouldn't have said such hurtful words if you were truly sincere about spending time with me. Hurry up and leave. Don't ruin my mood any further. Darius retorted. HMPH. I have no wish to see them at all. They strut in here trying to claim credit, but I can see right through them. Needless to say, Brian was about to explode with rage. Fine, let them stay with you, then. You only have one son anyway. Brian. Susanna scolded as she tugged at her husband's sleeve and smiled sheepishly at Darius. Don't mind him, Dad. He just said that in a fit of anger. Actually, he can't stop worrying about you on our way here. In any case, please rest well. We'll be leaving now. Darius pursed his lips, not wanting to respond. With that, the seething couple stormed off, leaving the ward so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Thankfully, it didn't take long before the kids broke the silence. Don't be angry, Grandpa. It's not good to lose your temper. Jessie coaxed. Those words hit a soft spot in Darius' heart, and he couldn't help caressing the little girl's hair fondly. I promise I'm not angry. Eat up, Grandpa, Zachary said as he placed a tray of dishes before Darius. Otherwise, the food will turn cold. Sure. Do you guys want to share some of it with me? Darius replied, smiling at his 6 grandchildren as though the previous altercation with Brian had never occurred. Tim instantly rubbed his tummy and grinned. No, thank you, Grandpa. We're stuffed. Seeing how adorable the kids were, Darius smiled even brighter. Everyone else in the ward, too, broke into wide smiles. Just then, Orissa turned to Benjamin, a hint of worry in her eyes. You should head home and get some rest. Are you coming with me? I want to stay here and spend some time with Dad, Orissa said with a chuckle. How? With the kids here, you're just blending into the background. Benjamin teased as he jerked his chin toward the chattering children. Sure enough, Darius was enjoying his time with the 6 little ones, and with 2 housekeepers and Mary also in the room, the atmosphere was lively and cheerful. Oh, come on, it's not that bad, Orissa grumbled. How dare he say I'm blending into the background? After the meal, Darius tried sending everyone back, but the children resolutely refused. Left with no choice, he shifted his gaze to Benjamin and Orissa. In that case, the 2 of you can head home first. I'm doing well, so there's no need for you guys to keep a constant watch on me. Go home and get some rest. It's the weekend, after all. Have a good rest in the hospital, then. We'll come back in the evening. Benjamin replied before turning to his children. Do you guys want to come along? Upon hearing that, Gavin hastily declined. No, we don't. We want to stay here with Grandpa and Great-Grandaunt. Chapter 1025. Benjamin hummed his acknowledgement, which sent Gavin over the moon. Daddy has agreed to let us stay, he exclaimed, eyes twinkling as he looked at his siblings. A mischievous little smile instantly crept across Zachary's face. Hey, even if Mr. Graham doesn't consent to it, we'll still stay here. Oliver and Jasper, too, giggled. Jessie sneaked a glance at her grim-faced father and stuck her tongue out. Mr. Graham, we'll be on our best behavior. We won't disturb Grandpa or Great-Grandaunt. Tim reassured. Benjamin glanced at his son and nodded. Okay. With that settled, Orissa cracked a smile and turned to Edwin. Sorry, Edwin, I'll have to trouble you to look after the kids. Don't worry, Mrs. Graham. I'll keep an eye on them, Edwin readily replied. This is no chore at all. Being with the kids is so much fun. Orissa nodded. That's right. You have nothing to worry about, Orissa, Sean chimed in. There's no way we'll lose the little ones in our own hospital. They'll be well taken care of. Upon hearing that, Orissa burst out laughing. I'm worried about them bothering you guys and disrupting your work. It's all right if the kids stayed in the ward with their elders, but who knows how much chaos they'd create if they hung out with Sean and the staff. Not at all. In fact, I wish they could accompany us every day. You have no idea how much our nurses dote on them. They're always fighting with one another to cuddle them, Sean said amid loud guffaws. Knowing how well loved the 6 children were, Orissa glowed with pride and joy. Let's go, Benjamin uttered as he took Orissa's hand. Dad, Grandaunt, we'll be heading home first. Darius and Mary were all smiles as they nodded. Run along and do whatever you like. You don't have to stay in the hospital, Darius added with a wave of his hand. He was hinting to the couple to spend quality time together, and of course, Sean caught the hint almost immediately. That's right, Benjamin, you should go on a date with Orissa. Orissa felt her cheeks reddening as she peeked at Benjamin. Look after the kids. Call me if anything crops up. Bye, the latter instructed Sean before pulling Orissa toward the door. Behave yourselves, Orissa reminded the kids. We will, Mommy. The next second, the 6 children grinned and followed their parents to the door to watch them leave. Orissa smiled and waved, motioning for them to return to the room. Even as Benjamin led her into the elevator, Orissa still couldn't help but sneak a few glances at the little ones. Benjamin curled his lips into a smile. Are you that reluctant to part with the kids? Orissa turned to meet the man's teasing gaze and pouted in denial. No. Right there and then, Benjamin wrapped his arms around her and pulled her into a warm embrace. Yes, you are. Orissa felt her heart flutter as she clung to Benjamin and breathed in his enticing scent. HMPH. I'm not like you, she said coquettishly. In response, Benjamin merely snickered. After realizing she was blushing up to her ears, Orissa quickly lowered her head. Gosh, must his voice be so seductive? Meanwhile, Benjamin's eyes darkened as he gazed upon the woman's beauty and grace. Alas, the elevator doors opened just as he was about to lean in for a kiss. As it turned out, one of the hospital's doctors had been waiting for the elevator. Hello, Mr. Graham, greeted the doctor. Even though she had gone red in the face, Orissa quickly followed suit when she saw Benjamin nodding politely at the doctor. As the couple walked out of the elevator, the blush on Orissa's face grew more intense. Just then, a low chuckle rang out above her head. Orissa promptly looked up and glared at Benjamin. What are you laughing at? Oh, it's nothing. Benjamin felt his heart melt into a puddle as he gazed at the woman. HMPH. You did laugh, though, Orissa retorted. Benjamin merely met her clear gaze and curled his thin lips into a sexy, devilish grin. Orissa felt her heart skip a beat. Damn it, what a bewitcher. Chapter 1026. After getting into the car, Orissa was pulled into Benjamin's warm embrace before the man's continuous kisses rained down on her. Losing the inability to think straight, Orissa felt her mind go fuzzy and could not do anything but enjoy the moment. There were flames of passion in Benjamin's eyes as he positioned the woman on his lap. It was not until Orissa's cheeks turned bright red that Benjamin finally released her. Leaning on Benjamin, Orissa was already panting heavily like a dog. The man gulped before holding her by the chin and leaning in to continue kissing her, clearly not having enough. The sweet and sensual moans resounding in the car made it easy for them to get intoxicated by the passion they were wallowing in. It took a while for Benjamin to recollect himself after Orissa shoved him. Then, with a hoarse but obviously lustful voice, Benjamin asked, "Shall we go home?" Her heart racing, Orissa's face was already as red as a tomato. "Where else are we going if not home?" Benjamin chuckled in response, and his magnetic voice was extraordinarily charming. After glancing at the man, Orissa pushed him away to get up and return to the passenger's seat with his help. "Let me take you somewhere," uttered Benjamin while starting the car. "Where are we going?" Orissa's eyes lit up. Benjamin then turned to give Orissa a mysterious look. "You'll know when we get there." "We're not going home to rest?" inquired Orissa, chuckling. "It's the weekend. We should drive around." Benjamin was not sleepy, so he turned to Orissa and suggested, "You should get some shut-eye if you're sleepy. It's going to be a long trip." "Sure." Orissa nodded happily, excited to see where Benjamin was taking her. When she leaned back in her seat, she couldn't help thinking about how hectic the day had been. Because of the car accident the night before, she did not fall asleep until late at night. Then, she had to rush to Old Manor in the morning to pay respects to the ancestors, and following that came Darius' situation. With everything that unfolded, Orissa felt as though several days had passed. She started feeling drowsy the moment she relaxed, and before long, she fell asleep leaning back in her seat. Benjamin glanced at the rearview mirror and noticed that Orissa had fallen asleep, so he stopped the car by the roadside and covered her with a blanket before getting back on the road. The car had already stopped when Orissa finally woke up. Glancing at the blanket on her, she turned to meet Benjamin's gaze and smiled. "Why didn't you wake me up? We just got here." Benjamin had his eyes fixed on Orissa the whole time while wearing a soft smile. Stealing a glance at the man, Orissa turned around to touch her mouth. "You didn't drool." Benjamin was amused when he noticed what the woman was doing, and she did not appreciate the mirth in his tone. After ruffling Orissa's hair, Benjamin handed her a wet towel. "Here, wipe your face." Orissa took the towel and wiped her face before putting it away. "Come on out." Benjamin got out of the car first. He then strode to her side to open the door for her and placed his hand on top of it, shielding her so her head wouldn't bump into the door frame. Orissa bent down to alight from the vehicle and swept her gaze around. "A horse ranch?" inquired Orissa in surprise as she turned to look at Benjamin. "Yep," replied Benjamin with a slight nod. After shutting the car door, he wrapped his arm around Orissa and led her inside. "Mr. Graham, to what do I owe the pleasure? You should have told me earlier that you were coming," greeted the manager as soon as he saw Benjamin. "It was a spur-of-the-moment decision that led my wife and me here." "Clear the place," ordered Benjamin before taking Orissa to a private lounge to get changed. The manager was so shocked that his jaw almost dropped. "That's Mr. Graham's wife." "Understood. I'll clear the place and ensure that you and Mrs. Graham have a wonderful here," promised the manager with a respectful bow. Orissa followed Benjamin to get changed. There are quite many people still enjoying themselves. "Is it really okay to ask them all to leave? That's none of my concern." Benjamin did not think there was anything wrong with his actions. All he knew was that he hated crowded places. Orissa was already used to the wealthy man's arrogant ways, so she simply chuckled and teased. "You need to be more down to earth, Mr. Graham." Chapter 1027. After glancing at Orissa, Benjamin reached out to pinch her face. "Go on and get changed." Orissa gave Benjamin a curious look when he handed her equestrian gear for females. Why would they have gear for women here? When she looked around, all she could see were gear designed for men. Benjamin's eyes glinted sharply as he replied with a smile, "This is a brand new set of gear. It's never been worn by anyone. I got someone to prepare it for you in advance. I just didn't have the time to take you here before this." Orissa was glad to hear that and did not mind Benjamin knowing what was on her mind. "I thought you got it for another woman," joked Orissa. Chuckling, Benjamin wrapped his arm around Orissa's waist to pull her close before whispering into her ear, "What would you do if that were true?" In response, Orissa rolled her eyes at the man and broke free from his grasp. She then looked around the room while holding her equestrian gear, trying to find a place to change. "What are you looking for? You're changing here." Benjamin had already gotten himself a male set and started changing. Orissa turned around and saw Benjamin's chiseled and muscular upper body. Her eyes flickered over the man before she hurriedly turned aside. Benjamin smirked after glancing at Orissa from the corner of his eye. "Hurry up and get changed, or I'll do it for you." Orissa's ears turned bright red as soon as she heard Benjamin's words. "No, I can do it myself." She distanced herself from the man, turned her back to him, and quickly got changed. When she was done, she turned around and met Benjamin's scorching gaze. In response, she shot him a bashful glare. She could feel her heart beating fast as she stared at Benjamin dressed in a fancy equestrian outfit that seemed to highlight his sophistication. Benjamin, too, was impressed when he saw Orissa in her equestrian gear. "That outfit makes her look pretty cool, if nothing else." Noticing Benjamin staring at her, she coughed to get his attention. "Do I not look good?" Chuckling, Benjamin strode over to pinch Orissa's cheek softly. "You look great." Orissa lifted the corner of her lips. "You're not doing too bad yourself. You look handsome." "Of course," responded Benjamin gladly with raised eyebrows. Looking at the man who seemed to have forgotten what humility was, Orissa could not help but chuckle. "Let's go outside." "Wait." Benjamin then pulled Orissa to a chair and got her a pair of elbow guards and knee guards before squatting down to help her put them on. Looking at how serious Benjamin was, Orissa's heart raced. She could not help but feel warm and fuzzy deep down when she noticed how much more thoughtful the man had become. When Benjamin lifted his head and met Orissa's gaze, he leaned in and pecked her crimson-red lips. Shooting the man a shy glare, Orissa could feel her cheeks turn hot. "I'll do it myself. It's better if I do it for you." Benjamin insisted that he help Orissa with the gear in a commanding way. Smiling, Orissa decided to let Benjamin have his way and pulled out her phone instead so she could take a photo of him secretly. Benjamin glanced at Orissa in response but said nothing about it. "Have you ridden a horse before?" Yes, but I wasn't very good at it, replied Orissa, glancing at Benjamin. I'll teach you later. After Benjamin helped Orissa put on the elbow guards and the knee guards, her body was fully protected. I look like a knight, huh? Joked Orissa while looking at the armor she was wearing. She even struck a pose. Benjamin broke into a chuckle as he answered teasingly, more like a crab. Then, he fondled her hair lovingly before helping her put on a helmet. You look awesome. Orissa's heart began to race once again as her crystal-clear eyes gazed at the man's good-looking face. Aren't you going to wear one? I'm too good at this to need a helmet, replied Benjamin confidently, arching his eyebrow impishly. Then, he took Orissa's hand and led her outside. Chapter 1028. When the couple was outside, they ran straight into Justin. Next to him were several sexy ladies. Justin puffed out a cloud of cigarette smoke before remarking mockingly, and here I was wondering which big shot wanted the place vacated. It never occurred to me that it would be you, Mr. Graham. Orissa gave him a once-over. She could not help getting the sense that she had met him before. As for Benjamin, he steered her into the horse ranch without even bothering to spare Justin a glance. Benjamin Graham, Justin called out, his expression darkening. Benjamin turned around and cast an icy look at him. What do you want? A sly smile spread across Justin's face. Where's the fun in having the entire place all to yourself? Why don't we join you? I'm not interested, Benjamin replied, shooting down the suggestion without hesitation. Justin studied him for a while. Then, his gaze fell upon Orissa. And who might this beautiful lady be? Benjamin tilted his body sideways to block her from Justin's view, a warning look flashing in his eyes. Seemingly struck with a sudden realization, Justin exclaimed, Don't tell me she's the woman who gave birth to your son. Having no intention of continuing the conversation with Justin, Benjamin led Orissa away at once. Justin narrowed his eyes as he watched the pair leave, and the corners of his lips curled upward with a hint of a malicious smile. At that moment, the ladies clamored around him, asking, Are we still going horseback riding? Do you even need to ask? Can't you see that someone has booked the entire place? Justin snapped, his expression changing instantly. He gritted his teeth as he thought about how Benjamin had gone too far, then stormed off with the others in a huff. Meanwhile, Orissa could not shake off the feeling that she had seen Justin somewhere before. She wanted to turn around and take another look at him, but Benjamin placed a hand behind her head to stop her from doing so. Don't look around, he uttered in his deep voice. Turning toward him, she voiced her confusion. I can't help thinking that he looks a little familiar. I wonder where I've seen him before. He approached you at the square, Benjamin told her while giving her a sidelong glance. She was surprised to hear that. After racking her brain for a while, she finally recalled the incident. I remember now. What does that guy work as? He owns a nightclub and used to have feelings for Donna, he explained. Orissa furrowed her brows. Used to. Does that mean he doesn't anymore? I've no idea about that, he responded. And it doesn't interest me in the least. Nonetheless, based on my understanding of Justin, there's no way he'd stand by idly if he genuinely has feelings for her. However, he hasn't come looking for me since Donna's arrest. That's quite odd. Orissa forgot all about Justin when Benjamin ushered her into the stable to pick a horse. The horses there caught her attention as soon as she saw them. Do you like these horses? He asked, leading her further into the stable. Surveying the horses that were full of vigor and had grooms dedicated to taking care of their every need, she was astonished. Are they all yours? He murmured while nodding. Orissa's lips twitched as she was awed by the number of horses he owned. What breed are they? I don't know much about horses, but I'm pretty sure these aren't just any ordinary breed of horses. Akal Teke. As he spoke, he petted one of the horses. It responded by rubbing its muzzle affectionately against his palm, appearing very gentle and tame. Seeing that, Orissa said, I'll pick this one, then. Benjamin raised his eyebrows. You won't be able to handle this one. Let me choose another for you. But this one looks pretty docile, she replied, looking at him in puzzlement. He chuckled. It only appears docile when it's with me. With others, it's very ill-tempered. Really? She stepped forward and tried petting the horse as Benjamin had done. However, it clearly had quite a temper as it swung its head away haughtily and snorted. She gave a start in response. He laughed as he pulled her back. Go to the front. Those over there are more suitable for you. You're not a skilled rider, so a calmer horse will make things easier. A high-mettled steed isn't the best match for you. She rubbed her nose, having no choice but to do as he said and follow him to the front. The manager proceeded to make some recommendations. Mr. Graham, these horses are quite beautiful and very docile. They'll be suitable for a beginner like Mrs. Graham. Chapter 1029. Benjamin chose a white horse slightly smaller than the rest for Orissa. Take this one. She nodded. After the manager led the horse out of its stall, Benjamin began showing her the ropes. Pet it here. Get to know it a little. Mimicking him, she caressed the horse's muzzle. It was docile indeed and appeared to enjoy being petted by her. It even nuzzled her palm affectionately. Giggling, she remarked, "It looks happy, doesn't it?" Benjamin's thin lips curved into a smile when he saw how delighted she looked. "It probably likes you a lot. Do you want to try and mount it?" "Okay," Orissa responded eagerly. Holding onto the saddle, she put one foot into the stirrups and hoisted herself onto the horse nimbly. Benjamin had wanted to help her up but was surprised when he saw her positioning herself on the horse. He teased, "I didn't expect you to be so skilled." She laughed and countered, "I may not be very good at horseback riding, but it's not like I've never done it before. I do still know how to mount a horse. Hurry up and lead your horse over." "That can wait," he said. Taking the reins, he guided Orissa's horse a short distance. After ensuring everything was fine, he passed her the reins and reminded her, "Don't go too fast. Just let it walk along like this. Oh, and don't hit its rump." She gazed down at him as she sat atop the horse's back. "Got it. Hurry along, then. I'll wait for you." He nodded, then turned and instructed the manager to bring out his horse. "Go and bring Black Wind." Immediately after that, he fixed his gaze on her again. Amused, she got her horse to stand still and said, "I don't know how to ride, so I won't dare to do anything funny. You don't have to keep watching me. After all, tumbling down from the back of a horse is rather painful." Benjamin merely glanced at her. He waited for the manager to bring out his horse, swung himself onto it, then started riding next to her. Orissa's eyes widened when she noticed the horse was the spirited steed she had seen earlier. It had not been that obvious inside the stable, but now that the horse was outside, she could see it was very tall and muscled. It also had a bright, glossy coat. Observing the admiration in her eyes, he was secretly pleased. "Do you want to ride this horse?" "Oh, I wouldn't dare to," she replied with a sheepish grin. You can give it a go after you've gotten the hang of riding," he said, looking at her with a twinkle in his eye. Orissa realized that her horse was somewhat afraid of Black Wind. Hence, she let Benjamin ride ahead of her. Benjamin nudged Black Wind with his heels, and it broke into a trot. However, it quickly grew bored of the pace. He asked, "I'm going to do a few laps. Will you be okay on your own?" "Sure, I'll continue at this speed," she answered. Her hands were gripping the reins tightly. She really dared not go any faster, for horse rides tended to get bumpy when the horses pick up speed. After repeatedly reminding her not to go off on her own, Benjamin urged Black Wind into a gallop. She gazed at the man on horseback in utter adoration. "He's so handsome." Orissa could not resist whipping out her phone to snap a photo, capturing his effortless yet elegant posture as he rode away. Even though her horse came to a stop and did not move forward anymore, she ignored it and merely sat there, her heart fluttering as she watched Benjamin. The horse ranch sprawled over a large area, so it took him several minutes to ride back to her. He was amused to see her remaining in the same spot. "I'll do a couple more laps, then come and get you," he called out to her. Meeting his gaze, she felt a little embarrassed when she saw the amusement in his eyes. "Go on. Don't mind me. Others look so cool when riding horses, but I'm still a little scared when I have to do it. Those who aren't good at horseback riding like me will find it uncomfortable when the horse starts galloping. However, those good at it will only feel the thrill of their horse's gathering speed. They won't feel any soreness at all." After circling the area twice more on Black Wind, Benjamin slowed down as he returned to where Orissa was. Suddenly, she felt him wrap his arm tightly around her waist and whisk her to his side. Ah! Her face paled in fright, and she grabbed onto him. He gazed down at the woman in his arms with a smile. Don't be afraid, I've got you. Chapter 1030, You Scared Me. Orissa hammered Benjamin's chest, her face lingering with worry. The man flashed her a devilish smirk and chuckled. Sorry, my bad. Orissa glared at him and snapped, Why didn't you tell me before you were going to do that? Benjamin sat her down and assured her, I'm confident to not let you fall. My heart will ache if that happens. Orissa's heart raced as she felt his hot breath sweep past her face. Benjamin circled her waist tightly with his arms and said, Sit tight. Let me take you for a ride. Black Wind started galloping when Benjamin gave its ribcage a light squeeze with his legs. That was Orissa's first time experiencing a horse's speed. It was thrilling, but she became increasingly uneasy when the horse ran faster and the ride became bumpy. Slow down, please slow down, she pleaded. Benjamin's lips twitched in amusement when he saw Orissa's anxious expression. He directed, Lean slightly forward and follow the horse's momentum. Just relax. Following his advice, the woman eventually got more comfortable. Are you feeling better? Asked Benjamin, whispering next to her ear as he controlled Black Wind to slow down. Orissa's eyes brightened as she replied delightfully, Yeah. The man gave her a quick peck on the cheek before getting Black Wind to pick up speed. Orissa felt her ears burn as a sweet sensation swarmed within her heart. The two of us riding the same horse seems like a scene straight out of a romantic period drama. Benjamin rode with Orissa for a couple more laps to let her experience the thrill of speed. After getting the horse to slow down, he asked, Well, what do you think? Was it fun? It certainly was. Orissa responded enthusiastically as Benjamin's breath fanned a few stray strands of her hair. He smiled as he saw Orissa's cheerful face before directing Black Wind to a narrow path. Perturbed by his actions, Orissa turned and asked, Where are we going? Benjamin's eyes gleamed as he lowered his gaze to her. The view over there is awesome. Let me show you. Orissa smiled and returned her gaze to the front. To her surprise, the view in front of her was stunning, unlike anything she had ever seen. Wow, it smells great here. Orissa inhaled deeply as she marveled at the breathtaking scenery. I had no idea the ranch has such a lovely landscape. Benjamin stroked her hair gently and teased, What did you expect a ranch to look like? Orissa grinned so widely that her eyes became mere slits. I expected it to only have racetracks and nothing else. To manage a ranch well, one must also think outside the box and keep up with trends. He replied. Orissa turned around to gaze at Benjamin when he started talking business, and in response, the man lifted his brow and asked, Do you like the view at the racetracks better, or do you like a spacious ranch better? The woman giggled and responded, I like being close to nature. Benjamin's eyes twinkled with a smile as he controlled Black Wind to speed up. Let me bring you to experience the wonders of nature, then. Orissa blinked, unsure if he was referring to what she assumed. There's a meadow here, she asked. Benjamin simply grinned without responding. A few minutes later, the narrow shady path disappeared from sight. Instead, they were greeted by a wide green meadow. Wow! Orissa gasped when she saw the vast open meadow that seemed to stretch far to the horizon. There was even a mountain range some distance away. It's so huge, she said in astonishment. The place was more than 10 times the size of the race tracks earlier. Orissa turned to Benjamin and asked, Why didn't you bring me here right away? The man replied calmly, You need some warm-up before you can come horse riding here. I'm sure if I brought you here right away, you wouldn't be able to stop yourself from galloping away. Orissa chuckled quietly, impressed that Benjamin knew her so well. She did not really know how to ride a horse, but the scenery here was so beautiful that she wouldn't be able to resist galloping around recklessly. Come on, get your horse to speed up. Orissa urged Benjamin excitedly. The man smirked and instructed, All right, sit tight. Okay. Orissa nodded enthusiastically. Hiya. Benjamin gave Black Wind a kick, and they took off.